I saw these surfboard fins by UPSURF on Amazon, and I thought I'd buy it and review it. All right. Open the package, set that aside. There we go. Here it is, UPSURF. The reason I was interested in these fins is because they're the only FCS2 fins that I've found that aren't made by FCS. At any rate, again, just a simple box. Packaging's pretty simple. The great thing about these that made me so interested is that the price point was half the cost of a normal FCS fin. So let's put the box aside. Here it is. It's kind of a soft material, and it looks like it holds all three fins in here. So I haven't seen any other company make this other than FCS up until now. So UPSURF is now producing these. These are, looks like they're made in China, sent over from China, and at half the price. First impressions, they look like your typical FCS fin. So, but everything else, I don't know if this is supposed to have an inner foil. This should lay flat. So as you can see, the quality, and again, it might not be a quality issue, it just, yep, it's a quality issue. This one's not as wobbly. So if I press on this front end here, that comes up quite a bit. If I press on the front end here, that barely comes up. So it should be flat. So quality control is not so great. Generally speaking, they don't seem like they're best of quality. Okay, so I'm gonna have to surf these things and give you my impression. But as of now, they seem fine, just not the best quality control, not perfect. In terms of construction, they're pretty stiff. They're a performance core like the real FCS. They are pretty stiff. So we'll have to wait and see. So this is something that I would recommend to anyone who is going to buy FCS fins. I call it the squeeze test. And it's just to actually identify the quality control that goes into a fin before you buy it, because not all sets of fins are going to come out, you know, perfect. And so even with FCS, I think you have to be careful. But with FCS, your odds are way better because I'm certain they do something similar. But what I like to do is I like to line up all three fins with the front of the fin boxes lined up, and then I squeeze the bottom so that way they're all nice and tight. Now when you do that, you'll notice if I turn it this way, the spacing of all the fins. You see how even that looks? Okay, and if you look at, and these are FCS reactors, large, and another set of FCS reactors, medium. Line them up. So I do this at the store too, right before I buy them, just to make sure that I'm getting a good, you know, controlled fin, one that has been looked at for quality. So if you notice, the spacing in between each of those fins looks pretty even. Okay. And then my performers, and I believe these are medium. Same thing if I line them up. Now this one here, if you notice, the center fin leans a little bit to the left. But if you notice, when you squeeze them, that center fin isn't perfectly centered between the two fins. It's off to one side just a tad. So I bought these on Amazon, so I didn't have the ability to test that, but for the most part with FCS, you know you're going to get good quality fins. Now, these are the UPSURFs. The UPSURFs, again, half the price, made in China. I don't think they're good to buy yet. And now look at this. If you notice, one fin can't, and I don't even know at this point which fin is actually off. And I think earlier I showed you a little lay down test of the side fins. It could be the center one, and, you know, compounding the issue. But when I laid this down, if you remember from the first video, I think if you push on this front end of the fin, you'll notice that the back end lifts up, and it just barely lifts up. But I believe it was this one. Look at that thing just comes up. So my guess is they won't surf that great. I'm not sure, but at this point I don't think I would recommend buying these even at half price. At half price they should at least get this right, symmetry. UPSURF, if you ever see this video, at least fix that. I mean, you're gonna do a knockoff, at least get one thing right, which is the symmetry of your fins, because I really don't know how that would surf. That's just too funny. But I will try it and I'll let you know. And in fact, I'll try to post a video of me surfing them, and I don't think it's gonna just throw me off, but I'll probably be able to feel it. I've went ahead and installed the UPSURF fins into a board and found some interesting things about it. If I take a right angle and I measure up against the back fin, there's no gap, as you can see, on one side. Now it's touching the fin and there's no gap. So it's touching up here somewhere. Now if I move it to the other side, do the exact same thing. When it touches up here, if you notice, there's like a 4 millimeter gap at the bottom. So either the bottom of the fin is tilting in like this, or the top of the fin is pushing out. So on this side there's the gap, this side there isn't a gap, so they're not completely symmetrical. And when I put a right angle up against this fin at the very back, and I did the same, this side actually had 2 millimeters more of a gap between the right angle here. So that means it's canted more. And if you don't already know, FCS build their fins straight up and down, and it's the Glasser shaper who then builds the cant, which is the tilt of the fin, right? The cant into the completed board, right? Whereas Futures, they build the cant into the fin with the base, and the shaper just has to make sure that, or the Glasser has to make sure that the fin base is glassed in perfectly straight, so when they pop in the fin, the cant's already built in. So I hope that makes sense. The UPSURF fins are completely not symmetrical, so both sides are going to be built different. So I already know it's going to surf kind of weird. Front side might have, like because this one has the 2 millimeter more gap, it's going to have a little bit more lift going straight. I don't know what that's going to do to a board. I mean, 2 millimeters is relatively small, so maybe I won't feel it. I don't know, but I'll have to review it. But I just wanted to show you that in a board, those gaps that you saw, the asymmetry you saw in the squeeze test, you could totally see them here. All right. Okay. Well, so hopefully I'll have a surf review of these shortly.